Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely fantastic for kids' education. We're looking at Worksheet World's tools for Hindi story writing with pictures. Seriously, if you're looking to boost a child's creative writing skills and, actually watch their imagination come to life right there on the paper, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it. So, let me ask you a question that pretty much every parent and teacher has wrestled with at some point. Do kids fear writing stories from a blank page? I mean, think about it. You hand a child a totally empty notebook and just say, hey, write a story. More often than not, you're met with this look of pure intimidation, right? That hesitation instantly sets in. It's such a common struggle. Translating all those swirling, imaginative thoughts into neatly structured sentences on a completely blank canvas, it can literally feel overwhelming for a young learner. But what if we could just completely remove that fear? Okay, here's a quick look at the journey we're taking today. We'll start with what picture based writing actually is, then look at structuring the story, walk through a classic example with the Thirsty Crow, cover the key learning outcomes, and wrap up with some frequently asked questions. All right, let's jump right into section one. What exactly is picture based writing? Basically, picture based story writing is an incredibly smart educational method. It uses visual prompts to essentially jumpstart a child's imagination. Now, this is specially designed for students in classes 5 through 8. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't just demand that they write, it actually trains them to observe, to think, and to seamlessly translate all those bright ideas into meaningful Hindi vocabulary. It's like giving them a creative stepping stone. Moving right along, let's look at section two, structuring the story. How do these visual cues actually work in practice? Just take a look at this comparison. Over on the left, we have the dreaded blank page. And as we just talked about, that causes so much hesitation and a total lack of direction. But on the right, visual prompts. The pictures act as a sort of anchor. They naturally guide the kids to connect the dots between a clear beginning, middle, and end. They don't have to invent the entire universe from scratch. The picture provides a super helpful roadmap. Let's ground this in reality with section three, an example using the Thirsty Crow. Okay, so let's look at the absolute classic tale of Piasa Kawa, the Thirsty Crow. Instead of staring at nothing, the student gets to see the scene, which breaks the whole narrative down into really manageable chunks. First step, the hot, thirsty crow is frantically searching for water. Step two, he spots a pitcher, but oh no, the water is just way too low. Step three, he comes up with a brilliant plan and starts dropping stones into the pitcher, one by one. And finally, step four, the water rises, he gets his drink, and flies away happy. See how the image beautifully breaks down a fairly complex narrative? And this brilliantly illustrates the moral of the story, apni samajhdari se samasya ka samadhan, which means solving problems with intelligence. What's so cool here is that the kids are actively absorbing these essential life lessons while practicing their grammar. They're literally internalizing the lesson of the clever crow as they figure out how to articulate it in their own words. So, why should educators and parents really care about this? Let's dive into section four, learning outcomes. The crucial point is that regular practice with this method delivers some absolutely incredible benefits. It massively boosts their imagination and actively expands their Hindi vocabulary and word choice. Students naturally start to strengthen their sentence construction, and this is a big one, they develop sequential thinking. Plus, as we just saw with our crow friend, it teaches moral values along the way. Honestly, this isn't just busy work, it is comprehensive cognitive development. It's a real game changer. All right, let's wrap things up with section five, frequently asked questions. We've pulled some of the most common doubts straight from the Worksheet World Guide. The very first question we often get, usually from curious parents wanting the bottom line, is what is the main benefit of rating stories from pictures? Well, the answer is wonderfully simple. The pictures act as really clear visual cues. Because the image provides the framework right out of the gate, the child is totally freed up to organize and express their thoughts systematically, instead of, just panicking over where to start. Moving on, the second question we see a lot is about the age group. People always ask, is this useful for all grade levels? While visual prompts are of course fun at any age, it is especially effective for students in classes 5 through 8. Why? Because this specific window is the absolute crucial stage for developing comprehensive writing capabilities. By this age, they've got the basic vocabulary down. Now they really need to learn how to string those words together into compelling sequential narratives. It's basically the sweet spot for maximum impact. And here's our final, highly practical FAQ, which teachers love to ask. Can this worksheet be used for exam preparation? The answer is a resounding yes. This isn't just a fun, creative exercise to pass the time. It is highly, highly useful for preparing for those specific story writing questions that actually pop up in school examinations. Regular practice with these worksheets directly builds a student's confidence. So when they finally sit down for a real test, they know exactly how to tackle a story prompt without freezing up. So there we have it. We've seen how transforming a terrifying blank page into a structured visual journey can completely change a child's approach to writing. From building up that vocabulary to teaching timeless life lessons like The Thirsty Crow, the benefits are pretty undeniable. So I want to leave you with this thought. How will you use visual prompts to unlock your students' creativity today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy teaching.